So in previous class we discussed about electric charge and their properties. In today's class we discuss here what is the role of charge and how it produce electric field, how it produce their own force. Okay. So in order to explain it, first we discuss here Coulomb force. So Coulomb force state that here actually this force gives the basic idea about attractive or repulsive force. How attractive and repulsive force act between two charges. Okay. Charge may be both are positive, both are negative, or one may be positive or one may be negative. So how attractive or repulsive force exert between two charges. So in order to explain it, first we draw here two charges, positive Q and another one is again positive. This is here positive Q1 charge and Q2 charge. Both these charges are separated by small r distance. Now what we see here, because of plus Q charge, one force is here F1 due to first charge. Similarly for second charge, again one more charge force is there, F2. Because of same charge and which are separated by r distance, this force is here repulsive. So Coulomb's force or Coulomb law state that here force of attraction or repulsion between two charged particles is directly proportional to product of charge, that is Q1 and Q2, because of their Q1 and Q2 charge, and inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So inversely proportional to square of distance between them. So if we combine these two, what we see here, F is directly proportional to Q1, Q2 and then divided by R square. As we know that whenever we remove this sign, that is proportional constant. So proportional sign, whenever we remove or omit, one constant is there. This constant is here. F is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. So this represent here Coulomb force. Or log. Now K is here proportionality constant and its numerical value is here. K is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. If we simplify this value, 4 pi is here 3.14 and epsilon naught is here 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. So what we see here, pi have here 22 by 7, epsilon naught, again it is constant called permittivity, and this equals to here 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12. So when we replace all these value, so we get here 9 into 10 raised to power 9. So this is the numerical value. K is equals to here 9 into 10 raised to power 9. Now we see what is the dimension of this epsilon naught. So in order to get the dimension of permittivity, first we put the value f is equals to here k 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 and upon r square. So epsilon naught, in order to find here epsilon naught is equals to q1 q2 and then f into r square with 4 pi. So this is the numerical value of epsilon naught here. Epsilon naught upward q1 q2 r square and f is in divide. As we know that 4 and pi, numerical number and pi are dimensionless. So we have only here q1 q2 and f dot r square. Now we replace the value. Epsilon naught q1 and q2 both have charge, and as we know that the value of the unit of charge is here coulomb. So coulomb into coulomb, this is here coulomb square. Force is in Newton and distance is in meter, and because of square, meter square. So this is the value of unit coulomb square Newton into meter square. Now we come to dimension. In order to get the dimension, we put the values. Coulomb, as we know that I, electric current I is equals to q by t. So if we calculate here q, so q is equals to here I into t, that is electric current into time. So coulomb is equals to here ampere into second, because the value of current is here ampere and time is in second. So coulomb is equal to here ampere into second. So we replace here ampere into second with square, and in denominator Newton into meter square. Now we replace all the values here. Epsilon naught ampere is replaced by a sign with power 2 second with power 2 Newton. Newton is unit of force, and force is equals to mass into acceleration. So mass is in m1 and acceleration is here L1 and t minus 2. So this is the dimension of force, that is Newton. So Newton is replaced by here m1, L1 and t minus 2 with meter square. Meter square is again here length. So it is here length square. So epsilon naught is equals to m in numerator minus 1, L1 and L2, this is L3 minus 3, t minus 2 above and plus 2, it gets 0, and A2, t minus 2 and minus 2 becomes plus 2. So this is the dimension of here epsilon naught. So Coulomb law, this law is applicable in order to find the force. In order to find the force, number 1, and its importance is here in Bohr's model when an electron revolve around the nucleus. So between nucleus and electron, one more force is there. This force is again from Coulomb's law. So this is the physical importance of this law to get the force between nucleus and electron. Now we see how to represent Coulomb's law in form of vector. Now we see here Coulomb's force in vector form. So as we know that vectors quantities are those quantities which having magnitude as well as direction. That means when we represent the Coulomb force, we must be mention the dimension. So first we take here 2D coordinate x and y, where we take two charges Q1 and Q2, and these two charges are separated by further r distance. In order to find vector form, we have to join both the charges from origin Q2 and similarly for Q1. So for Q1 position vector is here R1 vector, for Q2 position vector is here R2. Now in order to find the distance between two charges, here we use the law of triangle or law of parallelogram. So law of triangle states that if two sides of a triangle are in same order or same direction, so third side is represent the resultant in opposite direction. So in this diagram what we see here, suppose Q1 represent here A, Q2 is represented by B. So O to B and B to A are in same direction or in same order, while O to A, this line is in opposite order. That means OA represent here resultant of OB and BA. Okay, so from triangle rule, class 11th, two sides in same direction, that is here OB vector plus B to A vector, this equals to here O to A. Okay, now we put their position vectors. Because of here we make a arrow here 2 to 1, so this side is represented by here R to 1 because second to first charge. So their position vector is here R to 1 instead of R. Now we put the value OB is equals to here R2 vector, B to A. B to A is here R to 1 vector, and O to A. O to A is here R1. Since in order to find the Coulomb's force, we require the distance between two charges, that means R to 1. So from this identity we have to find here R to 1. So R to 1 is equals to here R1 vector minus R2 vector. This represents here equation 1, and we have also known the distance between two charges. Now we write the Coulomb's force. F is equals to here Q1 Q2 upon R square with K, equation number 2. Now this force F is equals to K, Q1 Q2 upon R square. We have to write in terms of vector. So vector means represent by arrow. So F is first represent F vector, K remains constant, again Q1 and Q2, and then divided by R square. So R distance is here replaced by either R21 or R1 minus R2. So this is here R21 vector with square, or we may also write here K Q1 Q2 upon R21. R21 is also equals to R1 minus R2. So R1 minus R2 with square. Okay. Now this represent here only magnitude, but vector quantities state that quantities have magnitude as well as direction. So in order to make here direction, where is the direction? So we come to this diagram. So what we see here, when we make the arrow O to B, then B to A. So if we extend this line, so this represent here direction from R to 1 direction. So here direction is R to 1, that means from second to first charge. So in order to write the direction also, this quantity is written as F is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon R21 square with R21 cap. Here R21 cap here represent unit vector, and as we know that unit vector means from class 11, unit vector is represented by n cap, and this equals to n vector upon modulus of n. This is the way to represent the unit vector. So if R21 is written as in terms of unit vector, this identity equation number 3rd is also written as F vector is equals to K Q1 Q2 and R21 square and R21 cap. This cap is represented here R21 vector upon R21. So R21 square and R21 with power 1. So it is cube here. So F is also written as K Q1 Q2 upon R21 cube with R21 vector. So this represents here Coulomb's law in vector notation. So whenever we find the force in terms of vector, we use this identity F is equals to K Q1 Q2 upon R21 square and with R21 cap. If required, then we simplify this R21 with R21 modulus. Okay. Now we see what is the role of this force in our daily life and in electrostatics. How to apply this force between two charges and how to use of this charge to produce the electric field, because this is the physical significance of this law, how mutual force of attraction and repulsion acting between two charges, and whenever this force is acting, it creates some electric field. Okay. So next we come to here electric field. Come to here electric field. In class 11th, we also study the gravitational field. So in gravitational field, what we see, when a mass is placed in a space, so it experiences some force. So whenever force is to be acquired by the mass, this is known as here gravitational field. Similarly, in electric field, if suppose a charge Q0 is placed and suppose number of charges are there, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5 and Qn charge. So this Q0 charge experience force due to other one charge. as per Coulomb's law. So suppose Q naught experience force from Q1, Q naught experience from Q2, from Q3, from Q4, Q5 and Qn. So what we see, the space around this test charge where another charges here, another charges is Q1, Q2 and Qn. So the space around a test charge where another charges experience a force due to this test charge is known as here electric field. So this force is here F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 and Fn. So this space around this test charge is known as here electric field, and this is the limit of this charge where another charge is experience the force. Okay, suppose if we draw one more force is there, suppose Q9, and this charge is too far away from Q0. So this charge is out of this space. So this charge here not to be considered because this is not a limit of this field. Okay. So electric field is basically space around a test charge where another charge is experience a force, and in order to get the electric field we required here two things. As first one is here source charge and second one is here test charge. So these two things are required to get the electric field. First one is here source charge. So what is the role of source charge? The role of source charge is to produce their own field. Okay. So what is the role? This produce own field. Now test charge. Test charge is represented by Q naught. Its magnitude is quite small. Second thing, and third one, experiment is to be done on this charge. That is why it is called here test charge, because whenever we calculate the force, so force is to be calculated with respect to Q naught. That is why it is called here test charge, and its magnitude is quite low. So electric field is denoted by E vector, and this equals to F upon Q naught. That means force experienced by test charge is known as here electric field. How much force is to be experienced or exerted by test charge is known as here electric field. Now we come to unit. What is the unit of electric field? Force. The unit of force is Newton, and charge. Charge is here Coulomb. So Newton per Coulomb is the unit of electric field. Okay, first thing. Second, we come to their dimension. So Newton is force. So force is here m1, L1 and T minus 2 Coulomb. As we previously calculate, Coulomb means ampere into second. So this represented by here A into T. If we simplify it, m1, L1, T minus 3 and A minus 1. So this is the dimension of electric field. Equation first is also written as E is equals to F vector and Q naught. Here we use some mathematical description. Limit Q naught, it tends to be 0. So this is the way to represent the electric field, because as I already told you, Q naught is here test charge, its magnitude is quite low, and whenever we calculate the force, so in order to neglect the effect of this charge Q naught, because it is called here test charge, so it is taken here very small, that means its dimension is taken here, Q naught tends to be 0. Okay, so this is the way to calculate the electric field. That means first we have to calculate force, and after calculate the force we have to divide by it Q naught. So it gives the electric field. So now we calculate electric field due to arbitrary any charge. So in order to calculate the electric field due to arbitrary charge, again we take here two dimension x and y, and as we know that we required, in order to calculate the force we require two charges. So first we take here suppose q charge, and another one is taken here q naught charge. Okay, and again if we join it with respect to origin, and the distance is taken here suppose r between two charges. Point is to be considered suppose A, and second point this is to be considered here B. So as we know that electric field E is equal to force upon test charge. This is equation number first. That means first we have to calculate here force, and in second step we have to divide by it by Q naught. So first we calculate here force. So F is equals to, as per this diagram, Q and Q naught. So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. First charge is here Q, another one is here Q naught, and divide by R. So R is the distance, so R square, equation number second. So this is the force between the two charges Q and Q naught. And in order to get the electric field, as per the identity, E is equals to F divided by Q naught. So this force is to be divided by Q naught. So from first, F is to be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon. So E is equals to F upon Q naught. So 1 upon Q naught, and F is replaced by here 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught, and divide by R square with R cap. So Q naught and Q naught here cancel out. So we get here E is equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square with R cap. So this represent here electric field E is equals to K Q upon R square with R cap. So the basic difference between force and electric field: in force we have two charges Q1 Q2 upon R square, while in electric field we have only one charge, because test charge is to be in divide and their effect is to be cancel out. So electric field is only and only for the charge for which we have to calculate. Okay. Next we come to what is the role of this electric field and how this electric field produce their lines. Like in magnets, as we know that in magnetic field a bar magnet produce their own field, and own field is to be calculated by their magnetic lines and magnetic lines of force. Similarly, electric field also produce their electric field lines. So next we come to electric lines. So electric lines is basically an imaginary concept like magnet. So whenever we put a charge, either it may be positive charge or it may be negative charge, it produces their own field. Okay. So own field have some limits. So this limit is to be determined by the electric lines. So electric line is an imaginary lines when a test charge or any charge free to move it. So whenever any charge free to move, it produces their own path. This path is known as here electric lines. Okay. And it have some their properties. So one by one we can see the properties. Number one, what is the pattern of electric lines due to positive charge, due to negative charge? First we see electric lines due to positive charge, that is plus Q. So when plus Q charge, when plus Q charge is in space, it produces their field always outward. As I already told you, it is imaginary line. So we have to keep in mind always, if for positive charge, lines is always outward. So this is the pattern of electric lines for positive Q charge. Second one, electric lines due to negative charge, that is minus Q. So for positive Q charge, lines are outward. So for negative charge, just opposite, that is inward. So for negative Q charge, lines are inward. So for negative charge, this is the way to represent the electric lines. Now we see number third, for same charges, that means pair of positive Q charge. So because of two same charges, that means force must be repulsive. So first we draw here two positive charge plus Q and one more plus Q. And as you know that from first, for plus Q charge, lines are outward. That means for this plus Q charge again lines are outward, and for again plus Q charge lines are outward. But because of two same charge, their nature is to be repulsive. That means never meet. So this represent here outward lines. So this represent here because two lines never meet. So this shows here repulsion. Next we come to fourth one and last one, lines pair of plus q and minus q charge. So plus q and minus q, so its nature is here attractive because of opposite charge, and plus q and minus q, that means their magnitude is also equal and same. So for plus q charge and minus q charge, again for plus q charge lines are outward and for minus q charge inward. So for plus q charge lines are outward and for minus q charge it is inward. So it makes the pattern this is the pattern. One more thing, please remember it. What we see here when we draw these lines, as we increase the distance, R1, R2, suppose R3 and so on. So when we increase the distance, so these lines are break. So these breaking lines show here force of attraction is less. So as per the Coulomb's law, F is inversely proportional to 1 upon R square. That means increase the distance between two charges, decrease the force of attraction or repulsion, and these breaking lines shows here कि their effect is less whenever increase the distance with respect to these charges. Okay, and out fourth and last one, we come to last one property, fifth one. So fifth property state that here two electric lines never intersect. So two electric lines never intersect because if suppose when we draw these two lines,